Hello, yes, hi. Welcome to my Sketchbook Slam challenge. Now, already a few days in, and I'm so far behind, but we're not going to talk about that. A few days ago, I was working on gesture drawings, but when I was searching Pinterest, I found a bunch of reference photos. If you want to check out the reference photos that I use in this sketchbook, you can check those out. I'll put it in my description. Every reference photo that I use, I'll put in that board. These are the drawings that I did. Some of them I like, some of them I don't like. I like adding the pop of color in. While I was going through and finding a bunch of reference photos and figure drawings, I also happened upon a bunch of hand reference photos, and I was like, and it was like an itch, and now I just kind of have to get it done. There's no time like the present. But first I'm going to start by finishing up some of my gesture drawings, just like fill out that page. I think I have 7 of those left. Yeah, 7. So I'm going to do that, and then we'll be back. You know, when I was little, I used to draw all the time. And you know, as life goes on, we get busy and blah, blah, blah. And basically I stopped doing art for a really long time. And 7th grade, I took art. And then 8th grade, I was like, screw that. It was kind of a waste of my time. But then when I got back to high school, I said, okay, let me give this another try. And I really loved it. And it was kind of this built-in art time in my regular life. And it was just so nice. And obviously, you know, you don't know what you got till it's, so I missed that. And so when I got to college, I missed it even more. And that creative outlet for me has not only always been a place of like stress relief, but it's been even more than that, as like a place where I can express myself. So for me, art was always kind of that outlet, and it was that like very constructive, very helpful. And when I was really lacking that was when I think I felt some of my worst times were. And ever since my freshman year, I've been trying to get back into it. So it's been a great time for me, you know, just great. When I kind of stopped doing art, I kind of stopped developing. And even when I came back to doing more artsy stuff, I still wasn't creating the same way that I used to, where it was like a form of self-expression. I've recently been feeling that because it's kind of like this build-up, but I kind of have these missing years where I just kind of wasn't getting any better. And because I'm like, oh crap, this is something that I really do want to do, and something I do want to pursue maybe a little bit more so than I had thought before. Not about to, but I'm going to graduate soon, and it's like, oh, maybe I should have like a portfolio of work. That would be good to have. Don't have that. So things like that. And then how do you even go about building a portfolio when you haven't even been making art? So that's why we're here today. For me, spending time on this is time that I'm not spending doing other stuff, but I think that it's important for me to grow as an artist, is to like go back to the basics and kind of take responsibility for my own art education and try my best to give myself the best to like help to like even the playing field a bit, you know? The advantage of going to art school is that you are creating constantly and you're developing constantly. Whether you know it or not, you're learning new skills. Even if you're taking a pottery class and you want to be a photographer, like you're still learning basic elements of design and art that, you know, just the average person off the street wouldn't necessarily know. So having that background of knowledge, I think, is very useful. And you know, I think it's important that people that want to be artists and whatnot kind of take responsibility for that and do it on their own time in their own way. And that's what I'm doing with this. And I think that, yeah, so I'm gonna do like 5 pages of warm-up, and then hopefully that'll only take like 30 minutes, and then we'll get into the main thing. But so now we're gonna start doing hands. I'm gonna do I'm gonna do a few pages of references, and then we'll get into the real juicy stuff. So now what I think I'm gonna do is use my own hand as reference, if that makes sense. I think that's good. That's a good thing to do. Start out like this and do this hand. The reason why, when I looked at the picture of hands and I was like, oh crap, hands, I don't have a hand fetish, but I used to like, when I was starting out, I guess you could say, I used to really like faces. That was something that I did. And I also used to do, like, my specialty, I would say, something I was just like, I kind of picked up, was hands. And that's something that I think a lot of people struggle with right off the bat. It's not easy. Hands are really not easy because they're so different, you know, like all the time for everyone. This looks like a turd. But yeah, I don't know, I was just really good at hands, and I love drawing them. Like, some of my first pieces, I can't show all of them, that's for another time, but they were, you know, mostly hand oriented, kind of, in a weird way. I don't know, I just really enjoyed the process of drawing hands, I guess. It's always been something that I've really loved, and something that I guess I missed doing, because when I saw the hand pictures, I was like, oh my gosh, I really want to draw some hands. So now we're getting to it, getting back in the swing of things. And so I guess I'm gonna maybe say some things that when I do hands, I kind of think about. I don't know. I normally start with the thumb, I think, and then from there, like, I just go in. And like I've said, I don't really know much about proportions and like the traditional way to do things. Like in my art class one year, we did portraits, and the way that I start drawing faces is I start with the eyes, and you're not really supposed to do that. But for me, I started with the eyes, and that's always how I've kind of proportioned things. I don't know. And my art teacher was like, no, that's not how you do it. And then she saw me doing it, and then she was like, oh, well, I guess if it works for you. So I've always done that for faces. So with hands, I always start with the thumb, and I don't know.